Hello, children. For commerce, this is the first lecture of English. We are having two books of English, that is Hornbill and Snapshot. So I am going to teach you today a first chapter from textbook Hornbill. Children, have you heard anything about portrait? You know what is a portrait? It's a picture, painting, or to describe a person. So here our first chapter is the portrait of a lady, which has been painted by Khushwant Singh. Khushwant Singh was born on 2nd February 1915. He is considered to be one of the best writers. He has experienced partition of India, and therefore he was inspired to write a famous book, Train to Pakistan, in 1956. He passed away on 20th March 1914. The portrait of a lady. Now, whose portrait? Here, a writer has given a description of his own grandmother and what relation he had with her. So, here I have a few points for you. Paint portrait of a grandmother. She was very old. She was found always praying. And then writer went to school. She used to go to school with him. She used to sit nearby the school and used to read scriptures. She used to feed dogs. And then a turning point came in their life when a writer and grandmother, they went to city to live with writer's father and mother. So writer was sent to English medium school where he used to learn English and science, which was not liked by grandmother because she was very religious minded and she thought that scriptures, that is religious book, must be taught in school. And one day it was a shocking news for grandmother when writer came home and declared that he was taught music. She was shocked to listen to this because for her, music was, it was a very lewd, or you can say that it was a work of harlots and beggars. So this is just a brief description. Now I will give you the detail of this unit. Chapter number 1, The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. My grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. She had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. But naturally, do we have young grandmother? Generally, we do not have. So here, the writer says that, like everybody's grandmother, his grandmother was very old and she had wrinkled for last 20 years. People said that she had once been young and pretty and had even a husband, but that was hard to believe. So writer had heard from the people that grandmother had husband also, but it was very hard for writer to believe it because he had seen her. He had seen her as old as she was now. So it was hard to believe for the writer that once grandmother was young and had husband. My grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. He wore a big turban and loose fitting clothes. So here he has given a small description about grandfather also. Actually, his grandfather's picture was hung above the mantelpiece, and in the picture, grandfather had worn a big turban and loose-fitting clothes. His long, white beard covered the best part of his chest, and he looked at least 100 years old. What the writer says here, that looking at his beard, one could say that his grandfather was 100 years old. He did not look the sort of a person who would have a wife or children. So in the unit, the writer says that his grandfather was so old that it was hard to believe to have his wife and children. He looked as if he could have lots and lots of grandchildren. What the writer says, that it was very tough to believe that once his grandfather had a wife and children. But one could believe that he had lots and lots of grandchildren. As for my grandmother being young and pretty, the thought was almost revolting. Revolting and disgusting. The writer says that it was disgusting even to believe that once his grandmother was young and pretty, because he had seen his grandmother in the same situation for last 20 years. She often told us of the games she used to play as a child. That seemed quite absurd and undignified on her part, and we treated it like the fables of the prophets she used to tell us. Even she used to tell her grandchildren the games she used to play as a child. Again, it was very tough to believe. It was very tough to be believed by the writer. And all of these children, that is the grandchildren of grandmother, they looked as grandma had told them the fables of the prophets. Prophet means children, messenger of God. She had always been short and fat and slightly bent. So here there is a description, physical description, we can say that. She has been short, she was fatty and slightly bent. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles running from everywhere to everywhere. Generally, we see that what happened in old age. The person gets crisscross of wrinkles. The same way, this grandmother also got crisscross of wrinkles. Now we were certain she had always been as we had known her. Old, so terribly old that she could not have grown older and had stayed at the same age for 20 years. As I told you, writer feels that she was found as old as she had been before 20 years. She could never have been pretty, but she was always beautiful. Now, what does it mean? Here the writer has used the sentence, she could never have been pretty, but she was always beautiful. So here the writer says that she was not pretty, that means she was not attractive. Here he talks about her physical look, but she was always beautiful. That means she has beauty of inner sense. She was very beautiful from heart. She hobbled about the house in a spotless white with one hand resting on her waist to balance her stoop and the other telling the beads of her rosary. Now, hobbled about, children. That means she always looked like, or we can say she always walked like a lame person, lame person. And she was always found in a spotless white. That means she used to wear white, pure white dress, very neat and clean. And she was resting on her waist, one hand. She was having one hand on her waist to balance her stoop. Stoop means bend down, children. Stoop means to bend down. So she was balancing with one hand and the other telling the beads of her rosary. And rosary, that generally religious people, they are having rosary and they are praying to God. So in one hand, she used to have rosary and she used to take the name of God. Her silver locks were scattered untidily over her pale, puckered face, and her lips constantly moved in inaudible prayer. Her silver locks, what does it mean here? Silver locks means her white hair. Generally, we see children in old age, the old people, they get white hair. So here, she was having white hair and they were scattered. That means they were totally sprayed over her face, which was full of wrinkle, and her lips were constantly moving in inaudible prayer that one could not listen. Generally, when we pray, some people pray loudly and some people they pray very quietly that one cannot listen to it or one cannot hear it. So he says that his grandmother was also having a rosary and she used to pray God, but in inaudible way. Yes, she was beautiful. She was like the winter landscape in the mountain, an expanse of pure white serenity, breathing peace and contentment. Yes, the writer says that she was really beautiful. Why she was beautiful? She was very contentment. She was satisfied. She was satisfied. And here the writer has compared his grandmother with landscape in the mountain. My grandmother and I were good friends. My parents left me with her when they went to live in the city and we were constantly together. So in the beginning, writer, his grandmother and his parents, they were living together in a village. But what happened? His parents went to city and this child, when Khushwant Singh was a child, so this child was with grandmother. She used to wake me up in the morning and get me ready for school. As parents were in the city, it was the responsibility of grandmother to take care of this child. So she used to get him up early in the morning and she used to get him ready for school. She said her morning prayer in a monotonous sing-song while she bathed and dressed me in the hope that I would listen and get to know it by heart. I listened because I loved her voice, but never bothered to learn it. So always she was engaged in her morning prayer also. Then she used to dress the writer when he was a small child. He was always praying in a monotonous sing-song. That means unchanging way. Always the prayer was found in a same tone. And sometimes she used to, you can say that pray in a bit loud manner so that the writer could listen to it and learn this prayer. So we can say that writer's grandmother was a very religious minded lady. Now what about the writer? Writer used to listen this prayer, but not for learning it, but he used to love to listen to this prayer. Then she would fetch my wooden slate, which she had already washed and plastered with yellow chalk, a tiny earthen ink pot and a red pen, tie them all in a bundle and hand it to me. After a breakfast of a thick stale chapati with a little butter and sugar sprayed on it, we went to school. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. But after that, she used to tie all the necessary things which must be carried to the school, like earthen ink pot, red pen, yellow chalk, and she used to tie them in a bundle. And after that, she used to give him breakfast. And what was there in a breakfast? It was a stale chapati with a little butter, and she used to spread sugar on it. You just ask your parents, they would have also enjoyed this breakfast. Generally, people used to enjoy, but now the time has been changed. Nobody loves to have this stale chapati with butter and a sugar spread on it, because now people want sugar-free life for slim and trim. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. So we can say that apart from religious minded, she was a kind lady. She used to carry few chapatis for the village dogs. My grandmother always went to school with me because the school was attached to the temple. The priest taught us the alphabet and the morning prayer, while the children sat in row on either side of the veranda, singing the alphabet or the prayer in a chorus. My grandmother sat inside reading the scriptures. Generally, we see that parents or grandparents, they do not go to school with children. But this grandmother, she used to go to school with him, because the school was attached to the temple only, and the priests used to taught them the alphabet and the morning prayer, while the children sat in the rows on either side of the veranda. They used to sing the alphabet or the prayer in a chorus, and grandmother used to sit there and she used to read scriptures, that is religious books. When we had both finished, we would walk back together. This time the village dogs would meet us at the temple door. They followed us to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. Now, after completing the school, they both used to go to their home. And children, these two, that is grandmother and the grandson, they were followed by the dogs, because these dogs, they wanted to have chapatis, because it was a daily routine of grandmother to give chapatis to these dogs. So daily, these dogs, they used to follow them to have chapatis, and even they used to fight, they used to growl and fight with each other for the chapatis. When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. Sent for us means they called them. Now, nicely this couple, that the mother of Khushwant Singh and father, they both settled down in a city. And now they called them to live with them. That was a turning point in our friendship. Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the streets, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of our city house. Now, when grandmother and the grandson, they went to the city to live with the parents of this child, that was, you can say, it was a turning point in their relationship, because the writer was sent to an English medium school, and it was not possible for grandmother now to go to school with this boy. And even there were no dogs in the streets. Generally, you will find lot of dogs in the villages, children. But here what happened? Now the writer and his grandmother, they were in the city. So there were no dogs in the streets. So what happened now? She took to feeding. That means now she used to feed sparrows in the courtyard of our city home. This shows that how much kind, how much pious, how much you can say that a gentle lady, we can say that she was. That in villages she used to feed dogs, but in city dogs were not there. So what she did, she started feeding sparrows. So we can say she was very kind-hearted. As the years rolled by, we saw less of each other. For some time, she continued to wake me up and get me ready for school. When I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. Now, as I told you, there was a turning point in their relationship. So now the years rolled out. That means years passed, and they were in less contact. And for some time she used to come in the room, she used to get him, that means to wake him up and get him ready for school. And when he used to come back from school, she used to ask, okay, what had been taught in the school? I would tell her English words and little things of Western science and learning. The law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, the world being round, etc. As in the village, this child was learning scriptures generally. But here, he was sent to English medium school. And here he was learning English, science. So when he was asked by his grandmother, what had been taught in the school, she was informed by this boy that they had taught science, law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, and even the world is round. And this made her unhappy. She could not help me with my lesson. As in villages, he was taught scriptures. So grandmother used to help in his lesson. But now the child was learning English, science, and it was not possible for grandmother to help him. She did not believe in the things they taught at the English school and was distressed that there was no teaching about God and the scriptures. Now what happened? She didn't believe in the education system which was going on in the English medium school, because she always believed that child must be taught about God and the scriptures. And she was distressed, she was sad, she was disappointed to find that these things are not taught in school. Which things? Like scriptures, teaching about the God. And the school was teaching science, English. One day I announced that we were being given music lessons. She was very disturbed. To her, music had lewd association. Now one day what happened? When writer came home, he announced that he was given a music lesson. And listening to it, when the grandmother listened that the child was given music lesson, she was very disturbed, or she was very upset, because she always believed that music had lewd association. That is, music had an indecent connection. Music had an indecent connection. It was the monopoly of harlots and beggars and not meant for gentle folk. What was her belief? That music is only for, look here, I have written harlots and beggars. You know what does harlot means? Prostitute. Well, this music suits on prostitutes and the beggar. This music is not meant for gentle folk. She said nothing, but her silence meant disapproval. She rarely talked to me after that. She didn't say anything because she knew that she could not change the system which was going on in the school. She didn't say anything. She was totally silent. But writer understood that grandmother didn't like that he would be taught music in school. And after that, she hardly talked to writer. When I went up to university, I was given a room of my own. Now the writer was grown up, so he was given a separate room. The common link of friendship was snapped. The common link. What was the common link? The room. Because when the writer was small, as a small child, he was living with grandmother in village. They used to have same room, same house. Then when they came to city, they used to share a same room. But now the writer was grown up. And but natural, when we grow, We need a separate room. So when writer went to university, he was given a separate room, and the common link of friendship was snapped. That means broken. My grandmother accepted her seclusion with resignation. That means now she found herself as a lonely. She rarely left her spinning wheel to talk to anyone. From sunrise to sunset, she sat by her wheel, spinning and reciting prayers. Now, she rarely spoke to anybody. She didn't, she was not expressing anything. She used to be quiet, and she had got a spinning wheel. And from sunrise to sunset, that is we can say that from dawn to dusk, she used to spin the wheel and reciting her prayers. Only in the afternoon, she relaxed for a while to feed the sparrow. In the afternoon, she used to relax herself, and that too to feed the sparrows. While she sat in the veranda, breaking the bread into little bits, hundreds of little birds collected round her, creating a veritable balsam of chirping. So she used to sit in veranda, and she used to, break the bread into little bits. She used to make little pieces of this bread, and she used to feed this sparrow. And we can say that hundreds of sparrows, they started chirping. Chirping, that is sound made by sparrows. Some came and perched on her leg. So some sparrow, they used to sit. Perch means to sit. So some sparrow, they used to come and they used to sit on her legs, others on her shoulder. Some even sat on her head. That means even this creature, this bird, they have understood the love of grandmother for them. Therefore, they used to come to her. Some used to sit on her head, some on her shoulder, some on her leg. She smiled but never shooed them away. You know what is shoot them away? Draw them away. Shoot them away means draw them away. She used to smile. Looking at the sparrow, she used to smile. But she never drew them away. It used to be the happiest half hour of the day for her. And that half hour, we can say, could be the happiest time of her day, which she used to spend with these sparrows. When I decided to go abroad for further studies, I was sure my grandmother would be upset. Now, rancher decided to go abroad for further study, and he was sure that grandmother would be very sad to listen to it. I would be away for 5 years, and at her age, one could never tell. He was about to go for 5 years. She came to leave me at the railway station, but did not talk or show any emotion. Her lips moved in prayer, her mind was lost in prayer. Even the grandmother went to railway station to leave her grandson, but she didn't show any emotion. So, is it like that she didn't love her grandson? No, children. She loved her grandson like anything. But the system, she was against the system which was going on. Education system, you can say that. Because she always believed in education which gives moral teaching, or we can say which taught about the God, about the scriptures. But the writer went to English medium school, and now he was going to abroad for further studies. And even at the railway station, her lips moved in prayer. Her mind was lost in prayer, we can say. Her fingers were busy telling the beads of her rosary. Silently, she kissed my forehead, and when I felt I cherished the most imprisoned as perhaps the last sign of physical contact between us. So, she kissed the forehead of this boy. Boy means here Khuswan Singh. And he thought that it would be a last physical contact, because that was going on in his mind. After 5 years, when he would return to India, to his hometown, then it was there in his mind that he would not find his grandma because she was very old. So children, I have explained you the half chapter. We'll continue in our next video. Till then, bye bye, take care.